What is up, guys? I haven't done one of these underrated videos for a little while, but I've kind of been keeping my eye on these picks and they've been slowly getting better and better since the mid-season update. One of the reasons I love doing these videos on my channel is because these champions aren't very popular, and that should kind of give you an edge. You can play them more regularly and people won't be expecting it as much. As normal, like this video if you did, dislike it if you didn't. Let us know your underrated pick that's working for you in the comments, but let's get on with it. So Galio is my first pick on this video, and honestly I have kind of wanted to talk about him for ages now. He's had a constantly high win rate over the past 3 patches, and I've kind of just waited to see if it was a random spike with all the changes, but apparently not. He's really good both mid and top lane. Top he can just kind of farm against his tanks, and the shield is going to protect him against bruises as well. Obviously mid lane is where he really shines though, against mostly AP champions now, with like Zed being permabanned. We have the mage update, right, which means more mages, more AP damage, and more reason to buy magic resist. Abyssal is a lot better now, and so is Spirit Visage as well. It makes him even happier. The new Rod of Ages costs less, is kind of better early I guess, so you have that lane sustain and early damage. The Abyssal next for more damage. You have that AoE magic resist shred with his ultimate, which is awesome, and then you kind of round that out with a Spirit Visage, right? You get better healing from your shield, you get more magic resist and more AP. It's not just about items for sure, like why he's strong, but that 3-item combo is absolutely nuts. He fits the meta really well too. You have good poke damage, crowd control to lock down these immobile picks coming in as well. Basically, you're hard to kill, you do a lot of damage, and I think he's really strong. And it's not just because I bought his legendary skin ages ago and I want an excuse to play it. Moving on, Hecarim is one who is constantly in the comments of any video. Like literally every single video, no matter what it is about, someone is asking me about their favorite little pony. Well, actually it kind of turns out you guys are right. Flying under the radar, or you know, like galloping under the radar I guess, he's been keeping a low profile but getting solid results. We're mostly talking about his jungle here. Top lane is kind of average at the moment. The jungle is low income though, and Hecarim is a carry jungler and needs items. That's kind of been a problem for him. The good thing though is that he is really effective with just the warrior enchant. That's what most people are getting, by the way. Some get Cinderhulk now, it's been buffed, but most are getting warrior. To give you an idea, he has like a top 5 win rate in games ending before 25 minutes. So once he gets ahead, he is devastating. Late game he does kind of have this problem where he's a mix of tank and damage, but he doesn't do either amazingly well, so he kind of just falls off. He is very effective though, suits the meta. You can control dragon, you're gank heavy, big to get ultimate for team fights, and you can fall back to utility I guess if you're behind with your fear and stuff. Now one of the things I said was Hecarim needs to build damage to do damage, right? That's kind of like an issue I said he had, but Zac on the other hand builds full tank and still packs a punch. We've seen a massive resurgence after the Spirit Visage buffs. I had my eye on him actually from those changes in 6.9, and he's just gotten better afterwards. The special thing here is like his passive, the blobs actually heal you more if you get a Visage. It makes him really annoying to kill, and it's a good answer to mages as well, which we're seeing more of. You have good pressure, really long range, kind of sneaky ganks, very tanky. Your passive can make it hard to fight him, like the blobs exploding. You have to kill him twice basically. Especially right now in this patch 6.10, Cinderhulk is helping a ton. You're really like a flexible full tank that does some damage with your base damage, but you can also build penetration and do a bunch as well. I always try and find a different word to penetration because you guys are just like a bunch of perverts, but honestly I got nothing else, okay? So we're gonna have to go with that. Like Abyssal and Leandries is what I'm talking about. Abyssal gives you AoE magic resist shred while you bounce, and it's kind of a hidden benefit for your mid laner doing more damage since you're in the middle of everyone. If they have any kind of AoE damage, they're gonna be doing more. You're actually pretty good top lane too for the same reason. Builds are really effective, tanky, good engage, but a bit more damage than other meta tanks and a bit more threatening as well. Overall, basically you're very good against AP and mages, which is great right now. You're also really hard for immobile tank killer ADs like Jinx or Caitlyn to really deal with, which makes you survive even longer. Now this next one is basically the polar opposite of Zac. From one end to the other, Quinn is about as glass cannon full damage as you can get. I think everyone knows she is capable of pooping on people, right? But she's still not very popular at all, especially right now. She is more effective I think after these changes. The chaos style that she has is beating these ramping tanks that take a little bit of time. Quinn doesn't just sit in lane 1v1 the whole game really. I mean you can do that, but that's not what I think makes her underrated. Her map movement is something nobody can match. You push top wave, right? You base or just bird form and roam constantly. You can actually beat players who are much better than you at the game because they can't react well enough. It's something new, something they have no idea how to deal with. I'm not just saying that either. This has happened to me a lot. I've been getting dumped on by this in low platinum games because my team gets caught, they panic, and there's nothing I can do. It's too early into the game to group up and help them. Being honest, she's actually not that bad of an AD carry either. Same thing kind of though, you're strong early, so you want to try and get some kills, and then you roam with your bird for mid lane or into the jungle, and you just kind of snowball the map from there. It's a very proactive pick, right? You sit back and you're probably going to lose, but if you get ahead and you roam around, you're going to dump on everyone. To give you an idea as well to back that up, her win rate is in general highest pre 25 minutes, and then again after her third item spike in damage before people can catch back up. She is not a good late game champion, so you really don't want to sit back. This is probably one of the most known picks out of all of these, I think, but he's still underrated for a few different reasons, especially right now. First off, Trundle is known as a top laner, but now I think he actually might be a better support. Quicksilver Sash was nerfed, and it now doesn't remove the debuff from the ultimate that used to be an answer to him. Basically, he'd ult you, you QSS it, and suddenly Trundle is useless. Now that really doesn't happen anymore, so once he's ulted you and he's stolen your stats, those stats are gone, and he's healing for a bunch and there's nothing you can do. This is awesome for support Trundle because it means you're very effective with low income, because his ult doesn't scale well anyway. You don't really need items. It actually scales off of AP for some random reason. Basically, it helps massively to deal with the frontline tanks in a team fight. Cinderhulk junglers are really popular and suddenly they're just gonna melt. You're actually helping your AD way more than you think, especially like a Twitch or a Jinx or whatever. You get through that first target and you're off. If Cinderhulk junglers keep dominating, Trundle would be a really good answer to help your team fight improve a ton. We're seeing like more carry laners go into top lane, so we might not be seeing him as a top laner as much, but as a support, he's a really good answer. Now, this last one I've been saying for a little while, but with all of these new mages coming back now, I think they kind of pushed him out of the way a lot. Zilean is actually pretty good as a support and a mid laner right now. You can do well in both. The new Morello and Rod of Ages really help. You have less scaling time now and quicker like acceleration to your bombs nuking everyone down. The support is actually kind of similar to mid lane now as well. Frost Queens into Morellos for some really good damage, and it's not just your damage, okay? That's not the only thing AP is good for. The ultimate health regen you give back when someone's revived is on a really high 200% AP ratio, so more AP means more revived health. He is so good right now because we're seeing more carry top laners, more carry ADs that you can keep alive, and also though it means you have to kill tanks twice, so you can even ult a big beefy tank and it's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. Overall, you do really good damage. You have easy to hit bombs on immobile mages and AD carries. You're good early into the game, like a double stun at a dragon fight can really turn the entire thing on its head. You're good versus assassins because you can revive yourself, you can slow, you can speed up tanks to engage and get to the back line. Like, you're very versatile and you're really good at the moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of insight into what I think are the most underrated picks right now in 6.10. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share, but for now, as always, let's go to the robots.